Welcome. Today we're going to be walking through the difficult topic of grief. This guided relaxation will help to normalize the grief experiences and explain the different stages. We're going to begin by finding a relaxed position, sitting or lying down. Set aside a few minutes to just relax. While you do that, I'd like to talk a little bit about the different types of losses. Grief can result from a variety of types of losses. Some kinds of losses are well recognized, for example, the death of a loved one, divorce, or the loss of a job. Other types of losses can be just as difficult to deal with, but may be less well understood. Losses may include the loss of a pet, relocation, changing jobs, infertility, illness, or any other event that changes life plans. Loss can be experienced with both negative and positive events. An event may be positive overall, such as getting a promotion at work that you were hoping for, but still be associated with loss. Loss of what's familiar, loss of the old way of living, any sort of change can be associated with feelings of loss. Perhaps you're dealing with a change that is reasonably positive, and your grief is relatively simple to deal with. Maybe you're coping with a significant loss and are going through a challenging grief process. Or maybe you've experienced a huge loss that has profoundly changed your life and are having difficulty dealing with grief. Whatever your situation, your grief is real and your loss is important. Though you need time and solitude to process and come to terms with the loss you've experienced, it's also important to accept support from others. Reach out to someone who can offer you support. You may want to call a friend, even if you haven't spoken in a while. It's okay to ask for what you need. Often, people aren't really sure how to support you when you're dealing with grief, and they feel relieved if you ask for something specific. It's okay to ask for help, even if it's just calling a friend and asking to eat a meal together. Any small act of support can help you to feel less alone. You might also find it helpful to write about your emotions and journal your grief during this process. Before thinking about your loss and beginning the process of dealing with that grief, let's start by relaxing. Close your eyes and just sit or lie quietly. You don't need to do anything in particular. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, feel your body sinking into the surface that you're on. Breathe slowly in and out. In and out. Keep breathing slowly and calmly, letting your breathing relax you. Imagine that your body is a fleece blanket. Imagine that the blanket is dipped into warm water. Imagine how it would feel to be floating, suspended in the warm water. Gentle waves moving your body. Now picture being lifted out of the water. The heaviness of the water stretching the blanket, stretching your body as you are very tall. Imagine that the blanket is placed on a warm, concrete surface in the sun. How would it feel to be this blanket? So warm and heavy, completely limp. Steam rises from your body, warmed from beneath by the warm concrete, and warmed from above by the sun. Imagine how it would feel to be this damp blanket and have the water slowly evaporating, becoming lighter and lighter, steam rising, carrying the water away. Feel your whole body becoming lighter, relaxed, completely limp. Let your body become completely relaxed, so calm, so serene. Now that you're starting to feel more relaxed, let's focus on dealing with grief. Dealing with grief is very tiring. You may have been feeling tired, stressed, or even burned out lately, and this may be caused by the grief process. It's normal to be short-tempered and have problems with memory and even concentration. These symptoms of dealing with grief can be really troubling, but they're normal, and they will go away. You will gradually get back to feeling like yourself, but right now, you are in the process of healing. The process of dealing with grief is similar to the process of recovering from a physical injury. When a physical injury occurs, the body needs time to heal and recover. Dealing with grief is no different. The mind needs time to recover and to heal. You need time to cope, to process, and to deal with that grief. Be kind to yourself and give yourself this needed time. Sometimes people who are dealing with grief feel like they're going crazy. I can assure you, you are not going crazy. What you are going through is normal and natural. There are several stages of grief, and it's normal to experience these stages, many of them more than once and in no particular order. It's normal to experience numbness, a time where you don't really feel much at all. This doesn't mean that you're insensitive or that you don't care. Rather, it's the mind's way of protecting you and a normal way of processing a traumatic event such as loss. Numbness and shock are a normal reaction to loss. Another stage you may experience is anger. You may find that you are angry, frustrated, upset. It's okay to be angry when you lose something that's important to you. Angry towards the person or thing that you lost, angry at the world or at the cause of your loss, or even at God. You may even feel angry towards others who haven't been through what you have. Not all of the anger is rational, and that's because you're grieving. People who are dealing with grief don't always think rationally. Your thinking will become more and more clear as you cope and process with grief. The passage of time will help to decrease the irrational thoughts and the extreme anger you may be dealing with. You will probably go through a stage of questioning, wondering why, trying to get answers. It can be hard to understand why losses happen. As part of the process of dealing with grief, you may seek answers as to why that loss happened and try to make sense of what has happened. You may find yourself bargaining, trying to make deals with others, with yourself, or with God, to try to make things go back to the way they were before that loss happened. Questioning and bargaining are normal parts of dealing with grief. Another stage is a stage of loneliness and sadness. This is a time of low energy, feeling slowed down, sad, maybe even depressed. During this time, it's hard to focus and concentrate. You may experience memory problems, sometimes feeling confused, distracted, or having difficulty sleeping, just feeling like you're not yourself. It's normal to feel this way because you are grieving. It's okay to feel sad and upset when you experience loss. These feelings can be so intense and so painful. While you're getting through this pain, remember, it will gradually decrease as you heal. Even though it may feel like the sadness will go on, you will not feel this way forever. Acceptance is another stage of grief. During this stage, you begin to recreate a new life in the aftermath of the loss. You begin to accept that things have changed and we can't change the past. Your life is different, maybe not better, maybe not worse, just different. Acceptance is the act of coming to the realization that the loss has occurred, but we can move on. It's normal to proceed through the stages in a non-linear order. For example, you may experience acceptance and then return again to anger. It's okay to be wherever you're at. It's okay to ask questions and to feel upset. You have the right to grieve, and you can get through this. You will feel better, and you will make a new life. Your life may be different than the life you had planned, but you can't always plan for losses. They can be very unexpected. It's okay to experience a variety of emotions. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel relief. And you still do care, even if you feel relieved in some ways. It's okay to feel guilty. It's okay to feel impatient, to get upset at things that seem small and insignificant. You are going through a hard time, and a confusing mix of feelings is completely normal. That is the human experience of grief. You are coping, you are processing and dealing with grief, and you will come out on the other side stronger. You did not deserve this loss. It's not your fault. You're dealing with a situation that is challenging, difficult, perhaps even devastating, and you can't be expected to get over this so quickly. There may not have been any reason why things happen this way. Many of the things that happen in life don't make sense. You can grow and become stronger as a result of these challenges, even though there's no good explanation as to why you had to go through them in the first place. Even after you've dealt with the grief, you will have times where you feel like you're right back where you started. That's normal, and that is okay. Everyone has their own way of going through the process of dealing with grief. You don't need to grieve in any particular way. Do whatever's right for you. You can cry or not. You can be more busy or less busy. Grieve in your own way. Though you need time and solitude to come to terms with the loss you've experienced, it's also important to accept the support of others, like we talked about. Reach out to someone who can offer you support, whatever that looks like. It's okay to ask for help. Even those small acts of support can help you to feel less alone. You may even want to seek out others who are dealing with grief, to find support from people who can relate to what you're going through, to know that you are not alone in this grieving process. You can find support groups in the community or even online. Allow yourself the time you need to grieve. Take good care of yourself. Eat well, get exercise, try to keep a regular sleep schedule. You need the strength, and we have to be kind to ourselves in this moment. Now, if you want to, you can take a moment to just be with the feelings that you have, just to allow the grief, face the emotions, and accept that you're grieving. I'll pause for 1 minute, and during this time, you may choose to just relax and breathe deeply, or you may decide to just go with the emotions you have and experience the grief. Do whatever feels right for you right now. If you need more time, you can go ahead and pause the video and resume whenever you're ready. Let's conclude this exercise with some relaxation to allow you to get a break from the grief and the emotions that you're going through. Focus on your breathing for a few moments, breathing slowly in and out. In and out. Slowly breathing, relaxing. Create a picture in your mind imagining a peaceful place where you have no worries. You may picture a comfortable room, quiet, peaceful. Imagine that the room is warm and has a comfortable place to sit or lie down where you can relax. Imagine sitting or lying down, maybe on a pile of soft pillows, releasing all of your worries with a sigh. In this room, you have no cares, no worries, no problems, nothing to worry about or think about at all. This is a place where you can completely relax. You can take a break here, even for just a few moments, to get away from all the stress and tension. Picture this room in your mind. What does the room look like? Create a detailed image of this room in your mind. So comfortable, complete serenity. You can return to this room in your imagination when you need a break, or whenever you just need to relax. Whenever things get difficult and you just need a rest, you can picture this room in your mind. Now it's time to conclude this relaxation exercise. You may want to reawaken or drift off to sleep. I'll count now from 5 to 1. If you decide to wake up, let yourself become more and more awake with each number until at 1, you are fully awake and alert. If you decide to sleep, become sleepier with each number until at 1, you are deeply asleep. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.